Hello friends, as you all are aware, chemistry plays a very vital role in our day-to-day life. There is a reason for us to understand or there is a need for us to understand what is the role of metals plays in our life, especially role of inorganic chemistry in our day-to-day life. Good evening, one and all. I am Dr. Paresh Suryakant More from Kelkar Education Trust, Vinayak Ganesh, Vazag College. Today, we'll be discussing about role of bioinorganic chemistry in our day-to-day life. Look at the structure of biomolecules and how these biomolecules plays a very vital role. Bioinorganic chemistry is a branch of inorganic chemistry which identifies the inorganic compounds involved in the various biological processes. It is a study of metals and non-metals in a biological system. Two constituents present in the living body are one is organic and the second is inorganic. 40 elements in the human body can be classified into most abundant elements such as hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, phosphorus, sulfur, etc. Less abundant elements such as manganese, iron, copper, cobalt, zinc, molybdenum, iodine. Next is elements are classified as essential and non-essential elements. Essential elements have a specific role vital for maintaining normal living states of tissues and bodies. Their absence hinders normal functioning of living system. Depending on their amount, they can be classified into macro elements and micro elements. Macro elements are present in the diet more than 1 milligram. Constituents are 60 to 80% of inorganic chemicals. They include 12 elements: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, iron, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine. They are derived from the carbohydrates, proteins and liquids. Microelements needed by the body in small quantities, micro and nanograms. They include elements such as copper, zinc, cobalt, molybdenum, manganese, iron and fluorine. Non-essential elements, as the name suggests, they are not essential for the performance of bodily functions. Examples: chromium, silicon, argon, nickel, aluminium, lead. Some elements are essential at low levels but they become toxic when they are in higher concentrations. Example: iron, selenium, arsenic. You look at the figure, you will understand the essential and non-essential elements. Elements which are deficient, elements now which are in normal conditions, then toxic, lethal, etc. Metals in the living system. Metal constitute 3% of the body weight. They are found in free ion or complex forms. Important role played by the metal chelates. Act as a catalyst, as redox and acid-base reactions, help in storage and transfer of metal ions and act as the energy transmission agents in plants and animals. Role of metal in the biological system. Sodium, major cations in the blood plasma, that is extracellular. Potassium, major cations in the cytoplasm, that is intracellular. This difference in the concentration creates potential difference. These ions facilitate the smooth functioning of the muscles. The functions are maintenance of normal hydrations and osmotic pressure, maintenance of acid-base equilibrium, and third function is transfer of carbon dioxide. Neuromuscular irritability. You can see the formula. Irritability is equal to Na plus plus Cl plus divided by Ca2 plus plus Mg plus 2 plus H plus. Maintenance of blood viscosity, base for the digestive juices, charge carriers and enzyme activators, and in excretion. Iron. 75% of iron is present in the blood erythrocyte, that is hemoglobin constituents. Requirements: in case of male, it is at 10 mg, menstruating women 18 mg, pregnant women 40 mg. It is obtained from the pulses, leafy vegetables, oatmeal, carrot, fish, egg, liver, spleen. Fe3 plus ions are released by the gastric juices. Ascorbic acid converts them into Fe2 plus. It is absorbed by duodenum, stored as a ferritin in the liver and bone marrow. Look at the function as oxygen transport. Iron is essential constituent of hemoglobin. Hemoglobin has two functions. One, binds with the oxygen molecule, transport it from the lungs to the muscles where oxygen is delivered to another hem protein, that is MB, myoglobin. This O2 is stored till required for metabolic action. Both hemoglobin and myoglobin are involved in the transport and storage of O2 in the biological system, which is very much clear by looking at the diagram how the oxygen binding mechanism take place. Heme group is also shown in the diagram. Copper. Copper is the third most biological important transition metal. Source of copper is from the nuts, dried legumes, cow's milk, etc. Daily consumption of copper is around 2.5 milligram, while the required amount is 2 mg per day. Copper mainly is distributed in liver, kidneys and intestine. Copper is bound by albumin and histidine. When transported to liver, it is transferred to ceruloplasmin, major transport of copper in the human body. Then the functions are: number one, large amount of copper metalloenzymes are required to maintain the metabolic rate of heart and brain. Copper occurs in over 30 enzymes and proteins. Major type of copper proteins are blue electron carriers, azurin, plastocyanin, laccage, ceruloplasmin, non-blue oxidase, galactose oxidase, hemocyanin, etc. Then ailments and disease, such as the disease which is due to the arsenic inhibited growth when it is very toxic. Calcium rickets, then osteoporosis and osteoporosis, then stone and cataract chromium. You can look at the table and you can understand what are the elements and disease because of these metals. Sodium and potassium pump, very important role played by these two pumps in our body. Cell membranes are selectively permeable. Thus, the cell membranes regulate the passage of certain nutrients into the cell and transport of molecules across the membrane. This transport is mainly of two types. One, active transport, that is a transport of ions is from low to high concentration, that is against concentration gradient. It requires energy. Second is passive transport. Transport of ion is from high to low concentration. It doesn't require energy. Then comes sodium and potassium ion pump was discovered by Zanes in 1957. The ion pump is cyclic. The movement of Na plus and K plus ions in opposite direction is catalyzed by the membrane bound enzymes Na plus K plus ATPase. It is also called active ion transport. The three steps involved in the pump are: number one, phosphorylation of ATPase. 3 sodium ions bind to the specific site inside the cell on alpha units. This changes local polarities and terminal ATPase is hydrolyzed to form ADP in the presence of Mg2 plus ions. This causes energy release, which is responsible to drive the pump. Conformational changes. Phosphorylation changes the conformation of alpha units, turning them inside out. This is called as a inversion. The 3 Na plus ions are released to the extracellular fluid. Dephosphorylation of ATPase, that is 2 sodium ions, are bound to the outside of the enzyme. This triggers dephosphorylation of alpha units and phosphate is released to the intracellular fluid. It leads to conformational changes of the enzymes by inversion. The enzyme reverts to its original conformation to accept Na plus ion again and continue the cycle. Thank you.